So I recently spoke to a real-life 40-year-old virgin. This guy lives in Australia, is 39 years old, works in the IT sector, and has never had a girlfriend or a sexual experience. The closest he has ever come to women is by using a matching service where you pay a subscription to get a date. That, however, wasn't the most troubling part of the story. The worst thing was that this guy seemed kinda content and okay with his situation. When I asked him how frustrated he was with his dating situation, he told me that on a scale of 1 to 10, it was just a 6. And there are many other guys who I regularly meet who maybe don't have such extremely bad dating lives, but still quite frustrating dating lives, like no intimacy for a year, no dates for months, or only dating women that they're actually not attracted to just because of the fear of being alone. And then the same guys tell me, well, I guess it's not that bad. I've had some dates. I am learning. I'm making some progress. Now, there's a big difference between celebrating small wins and settling. And if you mistake one for the other, you are setting yourself up for a massive unhappiness down the line. There's a good quote that says, pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. So in any area of your life, including your dating life, you have a current situation and a desired situation. Your current situation might be one date every few months, almost zero sex life, low confidence, social anxiety, trouble talking to women in real life, etc. Now, your desired situation might be going on multiple dates per month with women who you are emotionally and physically attracted to, having the confidence to go up to girls in any situation to make this happen, having a charismatic energy and aura about yourself, and potentially finding a future girlfriend or a wife in the long term. Now, obviously, there's a big gap between this current situation and the desired situation. And this gap is what causes you the frustration, or in other words, pain. And you cannot maintain this pain for a while, otherwise you'd implode. So you must bridge the gap. Now, there are two ways you can bridge this gap and eliminate this pain. The first way is you elevate your current situation to your desired situation. In other words, improve your dating life. This is obviously the preferred way, but it comes with a lot of work and sacrifices. You need to dedicate a lot of time into this, face your fears, face rejection, work on yourself and your social abilities, put yourself in uncomfortable situations, and do this consistently for a long period of time without quitting. Unfortunately, most men are not willing to do this, so they opt out for the second way of this gap, which is bringing down their desired situation to their current situation. They do this by telling themselves, well, I don't really want to have so many dates. Actually, the girls that I'm dating, they're not so bad. Compared to my friends, I'm actually pretty confident. Right now, I don't even have time to worry about dating. I just have too much work. In other words, they settle. And settling is extremely dangerous. Yes, in the short term, you temporarily free yourself from worrying about your dating life. But denying your desires and your emotions in the long term will cause you way more frustration. Unresolved desires are the key cause for midlife crisis and regret. It's when you recognize the opportunities that you missed in life to potentially have some meaningful connections or to work on yourself. And it's impossible to be happy by living like this. Essentially, you let your pain become your suffering, and suffering feels much worse and it's actually harder to eliminate and solve. Also, in order to settle, men are forced to emotionally disconnect from themselves and their own feelings. And this is the reason why the guy above rated his frustration only as 6. When we continued speaking, he slowly opened up and faced the truth. And then he told me that he is really sad and that his dating life is making him feel worthless, depressed, and miserable. Hardly a mild frustration, would you say? So clearly settling is not an option and is just a road to a painful and frustrating existence. So what do? The first step is you need to face the music. Just like the guy I was speaking with slowly looked at his real situation and admitted to himself that he was indeed unhappy and miserable, you need to look in the mirror and ask yourself truthfully, how does your dating life or the lack thereof make you feel? Yes, in the short term, this is going to make you feel worse, but that's good because you can use that pain and frustration as a motivator to actually do something about it. Pain is the single best motivator in the world. And if you have large pain stemming from your dating life, you can use it for your advantage. And once you start taking real action and owning up to your true desires, you immediately feel better. And now this is the moment where you can celebrate the small wins. When you do your first approach, when you get your first contact or positive interaction, you start celebrating small wins only after you are taking massive amounts of action, not when you're barely doing anything. Because the journey of improving your dating life will be hard and rocky. So in order not to quit, you constantly need to be looking out for positives and celebrating positive feedback. But that is not an excuse to take less action or to settle. So use your pain wisely, own up to your desires, and never settle.